What's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of The Take On here on 5, joined with the esteemed company. We've got you back in one piece. I don't know, I saw you walking with ice and everything. Did you have your medical insurance going out there? It's America. You got to make sure. You know what I mean?
The medical insurance was all right. It was needed. Getting too old for it, guys, man. Seriously. But I played in an unbelievable tournament called TST, the soccer tournament out in North Carolina for West Ham legends. Unbelievable experience. Unbelievable to meet the US fans that support West Ham. And just to put on this shirt again and actually wear it as a player rather than a fan, as I'm wearing it today. You all know why I'm wearing it today, though. Because today is final day.
This is it. This is the day. Is this the day where the rest of England, the rest of the Premier League are all behind West Ham?
Do you know what? I don't think they are. I mean, I think there's some neutral, but if you look at, I mean...
That's the Tottenham in you.
Yeah,
that is the Tottenham in you.
I actually want West Ham to win, personally. But I think if you got Milwall fans, Tottenham, Chelsea, they won't want West Ham to win, will they? The same you wouldn't want them to win.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Apart from, there's only a couple of teams that won't, but in terms of the general...
Apart from the Man United fans who didn't want Arsenal to win the league, but they're now on the verge of conceding a treble.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Yeah, it's going to happen.
Declan, I'd love to see for Declan because he's a member at the golf club I'm at. He's a great lad. And he's put in such a shift the last few years for West Ham. I know he might be off, but irrelevant to that.
Sign off in that fashion if he is off as well.
Yeah.
But we've got a lot to talk about here on The Take On, as per usual. We're going to be doing our courting session later on as well. We're going to be talking about that man, Harry Kane. Should he be going to Real Madrid now that Benzema's off? Should he be going to Manchester United? So we're going to have that. We're going to be talking about top 5 derbies as well in world football, which will be interesting. It depends on where you've been around the world, location-wise, because there is some absolute belters in there, 100%. And at the top of the show, we're going to be talking about the Premier League awards, which is what we're going to get into right now. We're going to be talking about Player of the Year, Signing of the Season, Manager of the Year, biggest surprise, biggest disappointment player-wise, and biggest disappointment club-wise.
I'm just going to add one on the end of that, give you something to think about quickly, and you watching as well before we actually get there, trying the best goal.
Oh, I like that. Best goal.
Because I've got mine. Yeah. And I always pick the best goal, right? And we'll talk about it. But the best goal I always think is the one I'd want to score.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the best team,
or whatever.
The one I would want to sure.
Okay. That's going to be something where you get all the plaudits, where it's like unbelievable, isn't it? It's not going to be a team goal. It's going to be you smashing it in.
Absolutely.
You ain't going to say it's like 30 passes, everyone touched the ball, and I put it's not. It's going to be a Jack Wilshere, is it?
Nah.
All right, cool. Well, let's get into it. Player of the Year. There's going to be some of these that are really easy. There's going to be some that obviously we've got to mix and match a little bit. Contenders, obviously, 36 goals, smashed it. First season, Erling Haaland. Kevin De Bruyne, 16 assists. Harry Kane in a team that finished, 8th? Did Spurs finish 8th in the end? Or 7th? 8th, didn't they? Pretty sure.
At least it was on page 1, though. There's other teams that were on page 2.
You love that page 1, page 2.
Page 1, page 2, man.
So who would you start with on Player of the Year? Is that easy for you, or...?
I think it's easy. Haaland, you can't look past Haaland, in my opinion. When you watch Kevin De Bruyne, to watch him, he's just amazing. But the hardest thing in football is to put the ball back in the net. This guy in his first year has absolutely blown it out of the water. And by the way, a lot of people, including myself at the start of the year, were saying if he gets 20, he's done well. That's the cheek of me.
Do you remember during the year?
Do you reckon he was what? Do you reckon he'd heard it or listened to people and just been laughing at people? Do you think he'd like 20? Man.
Yeah, I think
he seems like that type of guy as well. Yeah. You know, you watch his interviews and you see the way he is and the way other players talk about him. Yeah. He must use it all as fuel. You can see him. Okay, only 20? I'll show you.
But he's a goal a game everywhere he's been. Yeah. So people, a lot. If he'd only been a goal a game at City, people going because he's in this team. Goal a game at Dortment, goal a game at Leipzig. This guy,
but I think
Salzburg.
Sorry, I think people are putting in perspective what they're looking at and putting in perspective is the fact that they watched Jack Grealish come, needed a year to settle because, as we know, Pep put so much information into the players that he brings into the club. Sometimes it takes him a little bit of time to bed in. So people, me personally, that's what I was looking at and thinking, well, it might take him. Is he going to
need that time?
Yeah, is he going to need that time? And he deserves the time because he's still a young player.
Yeah.
But my God, was I wrong.
Same with you, Flex?
Yeah. You can't. What can you say?
All right. So I think with this one, we've probably got more to talk about on some of the others. But so we all agree. But who would you have as your? I mean, I'd like to give one person a mention because I think his impact on the team. Trippier at Newcastle.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I think with obviously the team's done really well, but with and without, defensively, offensively, full package.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's got that calm, like kind of leadership about him as well. He's obviously been a big influence on the plan. Fullbacks don't really ever get big awards. I get it.
Yeah.
But he's been phenomenal.
Yes.
By the way, guys, I got hammered for saying Dan Burn in the left back award the other day. Like,
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and that's right. You did. Yeah.
But you're getting your team.
No, he's not better than Luke Shaw, is he?
He's had a better season.
He's not better.
He's had a better season.
What are you? Right, here we go now. So he's outdone himself.
Season.
Do you know what the worst thing about you is? You even brought it back to the Dan Burn off your own accord, and now you're trying to say you're getting my team.
He would.
My team, my defense is the best in the league, mate.
Is it?
We just got the most clean sheets. Obviously not best in the league, but
No.
we've got the most clean sheets in the league.
Just so you know, the best defence is the one that concedes
the less.
goal.
I know. But he ain't getting in ahead of Luke Shaw in any given day and Sunday.
No, I'm with you.
Stop that.
Although he has, I know
that.
what you mean about a better season. Right. Who do you want to give honourable mention?
There's someone here, obviously Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Harry Kane's got to be up there because look at the state of Spurs this season.
That's strong. The state.
Yeah. Look at the state of it. It's what it's
That's
shocking.
strong.
They've gone
here for it, but that's strong.
It's true though. The state of season that they've had.
It's just quality.
He's just unbelievable. And you know what annoys me actually is the lack of respect that he actually gets. And I'm not just saying that because I want him to come Man United. We'll talk a little bit about that later in the show. Just as a player and how good he actually is. Because
I think he gets the respect from people who know football,
mate.
Because you know
from people who know football.
I don't know what you think, Anton, but I think as well, just on Kane, we know he scores the goals, which deserves plaudits in itself, but some of his passing is off the charts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is tops. I think, like you said, people that know football and watch football from a player's perspective, or even from a coach's perspective, they will see what he does and they will purr.
He scored 6 goals less than Haaland in that Spurs team, where he has to create himself. He has to do all. Son had a season off.
Played a lot more minutes, though, I think.
Who? Kane. Probably, yeah, because he's got the luxury of coming off.
Haaland, he used to bring him off after 55 when he scored hat-trick.
Of course.
60 minutes. Against some of the teams he was brought, he'd probably have another 10 if he'd
But he still started, pretty much
a lot.
Every game.
Court. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for Kane to be 6 goals behind, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, no, I get it.
That is
amazing. It's amazing.
insane. Imagine, what's just before we move on, what is harder to do? Is it harder to score bang 30 for Spurs, who are a poor side, who are losing a lot of games, or being a City team that's perfect? You're getting chances from De Bruyne, you're getting chances from Bernardo, Jack Grealish. It must be harder to do what Kane's done, surely.
Yeah, it is hard to do what Kane's done, I think.
Could Haaland score 30 at Spurs?
Yeah.
I can't bet against him. I've done it once and I failed.
We'll never know.
We'll never know. Yeah, we'll never know.
That's for sure.
But yeah, definitely honorary mention to Kane. But you got Odegaard, you got Saka, Salah, Rashford, Martinelli, Kieran Trippier. There's a lot of players, and then there's players even probably below that who have done really well. Look at Matoma, had a fantastic season. Estepinian, Caicedo's had a fantastic season.
Declan
Rice is obviously the team. It's hard when the team's been that
been
bad.
their best player, but he's not had his best season.
He has it, yeah.
No, but he's
been West Ham's best player.
Yeah.
he's been
Again.
West Ham's best player.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Signing of the season.
Signing of the season.
It's easy again.
I'm going to put one out there because the ones on the list are obvious. I mean, Casemiro's massive for United, been brilliant, and I think Haaland, obviously, and we can go through the obvious. The one I'm gonna give, and might be a bit like, oh, come on, but the importance of this lad for his team and the contribution he's made when we sort of signing of the season it could be him, I think, because of how important he's been for the team. Is Gibbs White at Forest? I think they don't stay up without him.
I think,
the other reason I brought him into it is only because players don't dictate the fees. People were actually laughing about the amount they paid.
Yeah.
I think it was 25 down, 30 down, maybe up to 40 if they stayed up. Yeah. Without him, they don't stay up.
Yeah. Well, see, when it gets to these type of questions of sign of the season, it's usually the player who's done the best, they've won all the trophies, it's a clean sweep.
Yeah.
And if you talk about the top end of the game and what the game's about, it's about winning trophies and being at the top end.
True.
Which is true. But I do like something about these conversations where you do bring up these types of players of like, to Nottingham Forest, like, it's insane. Like, they literally needed him to retain Premier League status. Like, to every team, they have their own one. Like, for me, at Manchester United, everyone waxes lyrical about Casemiro and how transformative he's been. But let me tell you now, Lisandro Martinez for Manchester United has been transformative. He's been like completely transformative to the point where Lindelof came in and has done a really good job, calming job. I understand that. But he's not Lisandro Martinez. He's completely transformed our team along with Casemiro. Whereas rival fans who don't really care about the progress of Man United, they finished third. They went out of the FA Cup final in the end, whatever, lost the final. They're not going to care. But to me, that's my signing of the season. But it's hard to put that over Haaland, who's going to potentially fire City to a treble. I know it's only a Premier League award.
Well, it's a personal thing. I don't know if you can get... I think this is the one subject where you can't get this right or wrong, really.
Yeah. But we have to agree on one.
Okay.
Is it Haaland?
It's Haaland for me.
Yeah.
If we're doing that whole thing of what football is,
yeah.
He's a new signing. I remember back at the beginning of the season.
Hold on.
Go on.
What was he? What was his price?
Yeah, it wasn't crazy.
60 mil?
60 million.
Release clause, yeah. And the thing is, remember at the beginning of the season,
Anthony, 80.
they said, yeah.
Bowen's better than him. More productive.
Correct. Probably better.
Really? Are you going out there just now? Are you going out there going, Bowen is better than Anthony? Is that what you're saying?
More productive. I'm with Anton as in more productive.
Does that mean better?
No. Doesn't mean better. It means right now he's in better form than him and he's producing more than him. As eventually, I think Anthony will be better than Bowen. But right now, I can't say he's better than Bowen, no. Good. Got you well out of that. But remember at the beginning of the season quickly, when Núñez just arrived as well, and it was Núñez versus Haaland. What happened to that?
Yeah.
What happened to that? That got shut down real quick.
Yeah,
and what else got shut down real quick is there was a middle point in the season, you'll know, covering it in a lot of broadcast stuff. Did Haaland sign for the wrong team? Like, do City play better without him? Oh, look, he's not really.
That was just for clicks.
You know, it was a bit mad when that was a serious conversation. So I
sit here and think the cheek. I do. I sit here and think the cheek.
Yeah.
He's special.
He is. He's a freak of nature at the minute.
I don't think I've got to say it. I don't think he's not going to have a season where he doesn't score lots of goals, is he? It's not going to happen.
No, unless Man City fall off the cliff where they can't create chance, which ain't going to happen while Pep's there. So that's signing of the season. Manager of the year. You've got Mikel Arteta, second place finish. Eddie Howe, fourth place with Newcastle. Unai Emery took Villa to 7th after taking over the club at 14th. You've got Roberto De Zerbi, 6th place finish, getting Brighton into Europe, which is unbelievable. You've got, people like Gary O'Neill, who's managed to keep Bournemouth in the Premier League. Look at Cooper, has managed to keep Forest up. But then you've got Pep Guardiola.
Well, I think Eddie Howe has done more than I ever thought he was going to so quickly. Not just the way the position they've finished, but the way they've played. Equal best defence, I think, or second best defence by a goal with City, which is incredible because they play so on the front foot. Mm-hmm. You know how you can play as a pressing team and still be tight at the back is down to your coaching. But the fitness, energy, everything about that Newcastle side, I mean, unbelievable. So give him. I mean, Gary O'Neill, after they lost 9-0, and Scotty made his excuses. This team can't. I can't stay up with this squad. Blah blah blah. I know they had one or two come in January, but Gary O'Neill's done an amazing job. But if Pep does the treble, it's a bit like the Haaland debate, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't choose anyone.
You can't. And but even just if we just keep it Premier League, Pep's just about to win his 5th title in 6 years. Like, the consistency is stupid. And sometimes I hate doing these because the big boys always sweep up over the little boys sometimes, and it's like
they all deserve a mention.
They all deserve
a mention. And even Thomas Frank, what he's done at Brentford,
been unbelievable. Silver at Fulham, they've had a good season.
Good shout.
Eric Ten Hag finished 3rd. Considering where Man United come from, I know no one wants to give him any credit.
No, he's done.
Like Eric Ten Hag ain't done it unbelievably well.
He deserves a mention.
He didn't even get nominated. I think that's insane. In like the top.
Well, that's because what was that? 8-9 away defeats.
Doesn't matter. He finished 3rd.
I know.
Finished 3rd. Man United had their worst season in history, and he got a cup in his first season and finished 3rd.
Yeah, but did you play one Premier League team on the way to League Cup final? No away.
Won it, mate. Won it.
Come on.
Won it. You say they're the days you remember, innit?
I know, I'm joking. He's done well. He's done really well. And also the big decisions, discipline, club everyone together, right direction, take no nonsense. Dealt with Ronaldo, doesn't. Sancho, you got to go and sort yourself out. You know, that type of management.
Maguire phased him out.
Yeah.
You know,
I think Mikel Arteta has to get a shout as well.
Yeah.
What he's installed at the football club,
amazing,
has been unbelievable.
What has he brought? What is he instilled on?
A winner's mentality, and not just that. I think he's got a clear philosophy of what it is that he's doing. You know, as a player, Murph, if you know to a T what you're doing, how comfortable do you feel when you go out on the pitch? Every player looks drilled to know what they're going to do. And that philosophy must go through the whole of the.
Well, they've got great patterns of play. They know what they're doing without the ball. They want to win it back quickly. There doesn't seem to be, I can't remember reading or hearing too much discontent of those who aren't playing. There's a togetherness there. Again, talk about the discipline side, and this is how we're going to run the club. Aubameyang gone.
See you later.
You know, and that was a big call. And this is a manager, by the way, who's only been in the job, what, was it 2 seasons?
Yeah. On it.
This is
his third. He came halfway through one.
Did he? So in the infancy of his career, never managed the club before.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest reflection on what he's achieved is, apart from the Brighton game, the stadium at home is bouncing every game.
Yeah.
I know they left a bit early, didn't they, the Brighton one, but you know.
Yeah. Southampton as well.
And it ain't been like that for a while.
No,
That's the
not
thing.
for
It ain't
years.
been like that for a while.
He's instilled a belief and a certain standard back to Arsenal, where now Arsenal fans are like, listen, I expect us to go again next season. You know, they didn't expect
think they
to
will.
do this. And there's no reason why they shouldn't.
Especially they're getting, apparently Declan's going there, but we don't know that for sure. But that's
No. I ain't heard anything.
Might go Man United.
That ain't happening.
How do you know?
Ain't heard anything.
Bet you it might.
No, the strong shout is Bayern Munich at the moment. That's what everyone's speaking about.
Imagine that. Can't see that.
As a West Ham fan, that's the best place for him to go.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so manager of the year. Is it Pep Guardiola?
Of course it has to
Bloody
be.
hell, that's 3 Man Cities now. Biggest surprise. Now, this can be for positive or negative reasons. Is the biggest surprise Arsenal's title push, spent 90% of the season on top? Is it Brighton / Matoma for the work that De Zerbi did, especially after losing Graham Potter? People feared for them and they went on an amazing run. Matoma's been great as well this season, and others. Is it Chelsea's disgusting season? 12th place finished after spending over £600 million. Is it Newcastle getting in the top 4? You know, this time last year, just managed to stay in not just managed to stay in it, but they were in a relegation battle January before last. Since Eddie Howe's come in, he's in a year and a half, he's taken them into Champions League, which is unbelievable.
I think if Liverpool hadn't had the finish to the season and finished 5th, although they've not been near it all season, if it wasn't for their finish, they'd be in the conversation for me. But with the ones you've just talked about, Chelsea is the biggest surprise for me. I honestly, that is absolute fall off a cliff.
They've had 4 managers this year.
It's bizarre.
That's mental.
4.
Finished in the bottom half.
Unbelievable.
Forget the money they spent, even if they kept the squad they had before. That was the positive surprise is, Newcastle, all the things you said. But I don't see how you can look past what's gone on at Chelsea as the biggest surprise.
No, I'd have to agree with that. Chelsea have been horrendous this year.
You always say page 2, isn't it? That's it.
But like to spend that, it's the fact that they spent that money.
But even the squad they had was good.
Yeah. It should. There's no way that a Chelsea team, with or without that investment, should be finishing 12th with the players that they've got. It just shouldn't happen. And you know what? I actually think that it's kind of not spoke. It became a point where it was so normal for them to keep losing. We all just stopped speaking about it. But they deserve way more stick for what's happened there. It's been absolutely horrendous. Like any of the big teams, they're considered a big 6 team. In any of their worst forms, they don't finish 12th.
No.
Man United come off our worst ever season in the Prem. It was disgusting last year with Ralph Rangnick, all what was going on at the club, loss after loss, still finished 6th and got Europa League. Arsenal, when they've been down in the dumps, don't get no Champions League. Wenger's gone. What are we doing? Directionless. Don't finish 12th. Spurs never win anything, but they don't finish 12th anymore. So, you know, Liverpool, they've had a fall off a little bit with Klopp.
5th.
They're 5th. Nobody with no big club, big team finishes 12th.
pace.
Chelsea ain't getting it
He's
hard
got a
enough.
job on his hands, Poch.
Massive.
First one dealing with 84 players every morning.
But I think if there's anyone that can do it, I think he could do it.
Oh, it's great.
I think he could do it.
Do you know what? I was fortunate. I know we're going off again, but so just keep an eye and give me a shout when waffling.
Yeah.
But I was very fortunate in Doha. I spent real quality time with him and his assistant and his boy right by the pool, and Rio was there a lot of it as well. And he's just captivating. He absolutely loves football.
Mm-hmm.
He knows every player, every team in every league you could ever think of. And his passion, you just feel it.
Yeah.
And he's got time for everyone. He wasn't just talking to the lads who played. He'd be talking to the guy at the pool or whoever come up to him. He felt like a type of manager I'd want to play for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, at Tottenham, he didn't win now, but what he seemed to have was this wonderful ability to improve players, and whilst playing decent football.
Mm-hmm.
And Chelsea's full of young players now. So it actually looks like a really good fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's the best thing they need to just get a style of play, reset themselves, get some standards. Okay, so we're agreeing that it's Chelsea, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, we're going to pick up the pace a little bit on these last two before we move on. Biggest disappointment player-wise, Anton?
Cool. You told me to pick up the pace, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you slowed it down.
Yeah, that's what I do. When
Well,
you got
be
sometimes
calm.
when it's frantic, you got
Yeah,
to calm
it's
down.
true.
innit?
It's true. It's true.
Bit
It's
of
a good point.
composure.
Son.
Flex wouldn't know about that.
I know loads about composure. Trust me. Son, Richarlison, Mudryk.
Son, no. I mean, he's 10 goals, although it's not his normal standards.
Still
That's
double
hardly
figures,
a big-
isn't it?
There's so many players. I mean, the list should be longer. We should have them in our head anyway. Never mind.
Yeah.
I think Richarlison for me is the obvious one because, and it's a compliment to him. I know he hasn't played as much as he was like. Being in and out's horrible at a team because your confidence drops. Been there when you go somewhere and you get snippets and you feel like you've got to take on the world. He for me was a cert to do well.
Mm-hmm.
Because of his work. His work ethic's tremendous.
Yeah.
And at Everton, he's got double figures in a really crap side for the last however many seasons he's been there. Mm. And going into that Tottenham side with the likes of Kane and Son, I thought he was... I would have played him more, personally. Mm. And I know Tottenham, the way they play, it doesn't suit him. But although I think he's the biggest disappointment, I think he could thrive under Postecoglou.
Yeah, it could be the player for him, the manager for him. João Felix.
Good shout.
That's another good shout.
But he's still... The only thing I wouldn't put him in is because although he hasn't scored many goals, there's certain games where I was like, oh my God.
There's a bit there.
Oh my God.
But
he does things.
He does. That first game against Fulham, even though he got sent off, he was taking the mick. I thought he was
But he had a few games like that.
But very underwhelming. Because you've got to look at the expectancy of the player of how good they are. And to just... After that, couldn't even start a game. Who
was the biggest... Biggest disappointment, Man U, for you?
It's going to be Anthony. Has to be. You can't put like...
But he's had moments.
But he hasn't had as bad a season as some people tried to make out that he's awful and done nothing and he's this.
So Richarlison.
Yeah, I'll go Richarlison.
Biggest disappointment club-wise. I mean, we could do Chelsea again, but let's not.
I'd go Leicester. They should never have been in a relegation battle. The quality they had, the manager they had, and weirdly, they picked up just for the World Cup, came at a horrible time for them. But did you hear? I mean, I don't know when you do, your stuff online or the bits of work we all do. Beginning of the season, I didn't hear one person go. So when we were talking about relegation, didn't hear one Leicester.
Yeah, that's true. Although I do feel that Brendan Rodgers, because he couldn't spend any money, and then he lost Schmeichel, he lost Fofana. It was like the only thing he could do with no money, hands tied behind his back, was keep Tielemans and keep Maddison, and it's like. Maddison injured for a lot of it. Tielemans on his way out. I just felt like that Leicester side reached a ceiling that just couldn't recover from it. Like there's no freshness about the team. But I do agree with what you're saying in terms of they still shouldn't be finishing in the bottom three. They've got
not with Vardy,
quality.
Iheanacho, Daka, Harvey Barnes, Mad. I mean, they did. Their home form did them.
Yeah.
Away from home, they were all right.
Yeah.
They scored decent amount of goals on the road, but
This is when you find out. This is when you find out about players though. When the going gets tough, that's when you find out about players' minerals.
No, I meant, did you have them as the biggest disappointment club?
I'd
had Liverpool on mine.
I'll definitely put them in there. I think Spurs, Chelsea. We've spoken about Chelsea. Yeah. They were horrendous throughout the whole season.
West Ham are on our list. You lot finished 7th last year.
Yeah. comparing it to last season.
I know you got a cup final now. Maybe this is Premier League, mate.
Comparing it to last
You
season.
lot was Moyes out.
Can I speak?
Okay,
Can I
sorry.
speak?
I'm just saying.
Comparing it to last season, yeah, it's not been a great season. But when you put it all together,
Yeah,
you can't mention West Ham.
No.
Impossible.
You decide.
Me?
You, go on.
I want it to be Liverpool.
Really?
He's doing a quadruple this time last year. Finished 5th, mate. Not even in the Champions League.
That's fair.
Kings of Europe, champions of Europe.
I think it's a compliment.
drop off
I
from
think it's a
Klopp.
compliment. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean to do. Look, listen, they need to reset their team as well. But let's not have this. Let's not let Liverpool off the hook here. They signed Darwin Núñez, £100 million, pretty much, or whatever
80,
it was,
yeah.
80. Yeah, they got Gakpo in January to go again some more as well. And if you talk about not putting Leicester in the bottom three, who here at this table went? Liverpool are going to be miles off it this year because all their midfielders are old and need a rebuild now. So no one said that.
Nope.
So realistically, Jurgen Klopp, even though he tries to say Wednesday nights, Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, it's all the same. No, it's not. You're Liverpool and you failed miserably this year.
I think where they were at, the way you've said it, for 2 games away from quadruple, biggest disappointment. Yeah, I'll go with it.
It's Liverpool. It is Liverpool.
They'll be back.
He's buzzing.
Now we're going to
He's
go.
actually buzzing.
No,
That's a fair argument.
I'm a
It's a
neutral.
fair
I'll
argument.
put my argument forward. I'm not just going to do it out of hatred for Liverpool.
No,
Just gonna put
I hear you.
Okay, right. Let's talk about the top 5 derbies
Yeah.
in world football. We're not going to spend long on this, but
No.
this is a nice one because I want to talk about ones that maybe you guys have played in.
Yeah.
So as players, you guys get it, what that's like to experience. Obviously, as me as a fan, going to some derbies which I've done that are not just my team.
Well, I think
What are you saying,
to
Dan?
keep it simple,
Yeah.
obviously El Clasico is going to be in there.
Yes.
Have you been? I've been to one.
Yeah.
I haven't been to
Phenomenal
one.
experience. Yeah, I was at Barca Real Madrid years ago when they beat them 5-0. It was a performance. Honestly, I've been lucky to play there, the new camp, and obviously that was an amazing experience. But actually, to see the Barca Real Madrid game, I think worldwide as well, it's got the appeal. It's always had Galacticos in the game. Some of
Because
the
you've always had the best
that
players
would
on the
definitely
show
be
that.
in there, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Of anyone's top 5.
Absolutely.
That would be
That's
the
a
one.
shoo-in.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's one shoe in. Let's do it how we usually do it then. So that's
Yeah.
one shoe in. Give me another shoe in.
West Ham Milwall is a massive game. It is.
Let's go.
It is.
Let's go, mate. Let's go.
Oh dear, it is a big game.
It is.
It's a massive.
How often does
in
it
the
even
East
happen?
End of London.
No, it's
When's
a
the
big
last one?
derby. Don't know. No, it's a massive derby.
It is.
I played in the Tyne and Weir derby as well. That's massive.
That's big.
But worldwide, what would
worldwide.
be an obvious one?
Oh, worldwide.
Yeah.
I think the Gala Fenerbahce
That's
one's-
massive.
love to go to that.
Having played in Turkey, that game, I ain't been to it, but just knowing that game, the noise in there must be a joke.
Yeah.
Well,
just
I
from-
think that's got a shout.
Definitely.
The other one that I've heard, which I've not got any experience, I've played a Galatasaray. That is incredible place, but not been to a
Beşiktaş.
derby. Played, that's
Beşiktaş.
mad as well.
Sorry, Murph. I played. It's not an actual derby, but the rivalry between the two clubs, Bursaspor and Beşiktaş, is an absolute joke.
Turkish fans so powerful.
They're mental, yeah.
But I'm talking
100%.
about the hatred. Like, they're in different areas. So Beşiktaş in Istanbul and Bursaspor is in Bursa. It's a ferry boat ride away, so it's like only like 40 minutes away from each other. I played in the one at home. It's so bad that away fans ain't allowed in the stadium. They're not allowed there.
Yeah, when you
It's
get
that
ones
bad.
like that, yeah.
Yeah. Kid you
Or
not.
minimal fans.
Kid you not, right? We left the training ground to go to the stadium. There was 1,000 Bursaspor fans at the training ground. Then as we're turning right to go into the stadium, all of a sudden the coach comes to a halt, surrounded by fans, chanting. And I'm like saying to the interpreter, what are they saying? He went, Anton, you don't want to know. I went, what? Excuse me? He went, Anton, you don't want to know. I said, tell me what they're saying. They were chanting, if you don't win this game, you're not coming out of here. If you don't win this game, you're not coming out of here. And I was like,
It's when the old Anton's hamstring went again.
I went, oh.
The old hamstring again.
I swear, I went, oh. Right, I kid you not, there must have been about 15,000 fans there,
Yeah.
right, surrounding the bus. They let us go in. They wouldn't let us go until the captain come and acknowledge them. Then they let us in. Takes 5 minutes, not even that. I walked in, put my wash bag and stuff down, went to the toilet, went for a wee, went out to check the pitch. Stadium was full.
Yeah,
So them people they were outside, they just weren't involved. They weren't in the game.
Yeah.
It was I couldn't believe
it's a
it.
different level.
Beat them 3-0, by the way. Just and I played full game. Hamstring was all right. It was not like the pictures you saw the other day of me in the tournament. I was fine.
Okay. Well, I think the worldwide one. There's two others here that be in, and
Go for it.
One is Celtic Rangers,
Absolutely,
and Boca.
And Boca River Plate. Even though I haven't been, we've all seen it. I don't know if any of you have been, so sorry.
I've seen it on.
But they're the three I think that have to be in.
Yeah, worldwide. Yeah,
worldwide. And the only other one
domestically. What are you saying now?
So the other one from a worldwide perspective, and this is the numbers I was given in the days when we used to play the game, was Liverpool Man U.
Yeah.
In terms of being watched from a worldwide audience. Now the Liverpool Man U one comes from years of success, decades of success for both teams that kind of flip-flopped from 60s to 70s to 80s and 90s, and it's just gone on and on and on. I mean, I grew up hating United. I was taught to hate United.
Yeah.
And the games are that you can feel it. It's proper. And for me, it was weird because being part of Liverpool, growing up as a fan and then a player as well, the Liverpool-Everton thing, although it's got a bit nastier over the years, it was a completely different feel.
Same. It's like Man United, Man City. Man United, Man City, people say, oh, your rivals are doing all this, they're winning all this stuff. They still feel a bit empty, a bit hollow. They hate you. The biggest game on the calendar is still Liverpool.
Yeah.
Home and away.
Well, it's the same. So I always say this, wherever I go in the world and people want to, Liverpool, you bump into someone who's a Liverpool fan, they'll always talk to me about goals scored against United. And one of my best was a winner in the Derby at Everton. Nobody's ever asked me about it, ever. Ever.
No.
But, just touching on the Liverpool-Everton game, because it won't get in the top 5, but I think Liverpool-United should, but I'll wait for your opinion on that. The Liverpool-Everton one was very special. I mean, I remember going to games at Everton where you'd stand in the Gladys Street with Everton fans in your Liverpool scarf and hat. And people would still, I don't know if you remember after Hillsborough Cup final at Wembley, it's one of the most amazing things you could ever witness, the togetherness, because it's the same city.
Because I was going to say, though, that when it comes to things like that, you're all
there was Everton fans who lost friends and family at Hillsborough watching Liverpool.
Exactly.
So there was this togetherness there that you don't normally get. There's normally this, it's normally at any derby I can think of, this hatred, this tribalism, isn't it? And the Liverpool-Everton thing, although there are some nasty elements, but it's got something that not many of the derbies have got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
So
Liverpool, Man United. So that's the 5, isn't it?
No, that's 4.
That's 4. Where does the Milan derby rank?
That's a big one.
Where does
some Arsenal fans would say
the North London derby? Where does that rank?
What, in world football?
Yeah.
I tell you, my first experience North London derby. I'm on the coach. We're going to Highbury. I don't know the area that well. We're on the coach. We get to this crossroads near the ground. Anton might know exactly where it is. And there's police fans and all that. And next thing, we are getting pint glasses, bottles. Some of the lads are diving to the floor. And this is I was like, oh my God.
Danny's loving it. He's going, whoa.
So I was like, and you're giving it a bit back and all that. And then, because we got trapped because of the traffic and the lights. And then the police all turned up. And honestly, I didn't realise how big it was till I was around it.
It's huge, man. It's huge.
But
Worldwide,
Milan
Arsenal, Tottenham,
Roma
Milan derby, Roma Lazio.
Roma Lazio is a big one. I think the Milan derby though, because of it's the capital.
And also, I just think over the period of years, when you've had the best players on show like at Inter and AC in their golden generations. Is it a bit harsh, Arsenal, Tottenham not getting on there over
when you think we haven't even got Galatasaray, Fenerbahce?
Yeah. Sorry, Arsenal fans. That's what it is. Let us know if you agree or disagree. That is our top 5. That's what the take on is.
Barca, Madrid, Celtic Rangers, Liverpool United, Boca River, Milan derby.
Right, okay. We're going to spend...
sorry.
Yeah.
West Ham Millwall.
Get that in there.
Honestly.
Is that the biggest derby for West Ham?
Yes, West Ham's biggest.
Is it?
Yeah.
When they play. Do you not remember the one at Upton Park a few years ago? That might have been about 8 years ago.
So
would all the police come on the pitch and everything because
it is peak if they play.
But would West Ham fans have wanted Milwall to win the playoffs then, to come up and have that derby?
Or would they want them to just keep staying down? Because
there'll be half that I want them to stay down so they can look down at them.
Yeah.
But there'll be another part of the old guard.
Away at Millwall, so
the
we can
old
go.
guard would probably want them to come up.
That's proper football factory, that, isn't it?
Like, want them to come up. Like,
Yeah.
the films are based on this, on
Yeah,
that rivalry.
yeah,
That tells you,
yeah.
and you're laughing at me. And there's films based on it.
No, we because it's worldwide. That's why.
Yeah.
I obviously didn't hear the worldwide.
Okay, right. This is going to be a quick one as well. Court is in session. It's time for it. Should Kane sign for Man United or Real Madrid?
Who's the judge?
Well, we're going to have to do it this way.
You
aren't
can't
we?
be the judge.
I can't be the judge, no. You're the judge?
United.
Oh.
But I think the reason why I'm saying it is
You're gonna have to be the
because
judge then, eh?
the reason why I'm saying it, United, is because he's going to want the Premier League. He's going to go down as the Premier League greatest striker.
Goals, beat the record.
But he wants to beat the record. He's got to want to beat the record. But then you wait up and then go, but do you want the Champions League? Because he ain't getting a Champions League with United.
No, not anytime soon.
Do you know what I mean?
So if you're the judge because you're Man U, I'll do the Madrid.
Yeah, actually,
So
yeah.
what you've got in a minute is one argument.
Yeah, give me why you should go to Real Madrid, Danny.
Well,
Mad question, that. Why should someone go to Real Madrid?
I think it's a chance in a lifetime of any footballer's career because it's the biggest club in the world, first and foremost. I think it gives him the better opportunity of winning not only the Champions League, domestic league, because Madrid are going to go after Barca this because they've just lost it by a fair way. So from a trophy point of view, he's still going to score loads of goals and have loads of records. He's Tottenham's greatest goal scorer. He's England's highest goal scorer. The only one he would miss by going to Madrid is the Premier League one. So I do get that. I just think there'd be very few football people at top level who, if he picked up the phone and asked them, would say to him, go United and Madrid. But the one big thing, and I'm going to actually help the opposition here in one rate, the only one thing, and I know it's only a thing for some people, but apparently he's a family man. The kids are young and they're settled.
Yeah.
But Madrid once in a lifetime.
I just see that I think the Premier League would be more what he'd want to be known for. Because if it was about other stuff, he would have been gone by now.
Do you think there's a bit of fear there to go Madrid if the opportunity is there? Because you know what happened to
about
Bale.
minerals as a player.
But Bale had a great time, but he did get hammered.
100%.
Yeah, and I think like
I don't think he's got fear actually.
No.
I just think going Man United, he could be the different. He could put them in the title race. He knows that.
He'd be the Van Persie.
Exactly. You know, go and be a legend at a massive club like Man United, and he breaks Alan Shearer's record to be the leading goal scorer in the Premier in his league. By the way, his country's league.
I'll ask you the simplest question. The simplest way to get an honest answer to this is if he's your brother, and he said, "Bro, what should I do? I'm torn."
I mean, I'm the judge here.
I know. I'm asking you. Well, what would on a serious note? Forget even the judge bit.
Yeah.
If you're his brother.
Well, I like my family close to me.
Okay.
And,
can you not move?
No, and if his brother's a Man United fan like me, but he plays for Tottenham, I'm saying, listen, come make history at Old Trafford, make Man United great again. And I'm saying as a Man United fan, but even me, it depends what's important to Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't care about trophies, then fair enough.
But my argument,
But Real Madrid, Benzema is just. They're not looking for a backup striker. They're looking for the guy. And all the people that kind of put disrespect on Kane's name and say, oh, if he played in a different league, and people who know football go, if he played at Real Madrid, if he played at Barcelona, well, he's going to be in a shootout with Lewandowski if he goes there. You can put all rumours to bed, pick up trophies galore.
I think he slapped Lewandowski.
Yeah,
I think.
he will. Yeah, 100%.
I think the biggest,
well.
one of the biggest fears for me, if I was Harry Kane, and I'm not him, so I don't know how he thinks, but I'd be thinking, those boots to fill.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, of course, because Benzema's a god. And you talk
Kareem
about
the
Real
Dream.
Madrid. Yeah.
Kareem the Dream.
He's just won the Ballon d'Or last year. It's insane. So I question Harry Kane's minerals to just pack up and go and go
heavy.
for it.
It's a bit heavy.
I don't think.
You mean the change?
Actually, let me rephrase that. Yeah. Not his minerals. It is actually the change. and it is a bit like family life.
Upheaval.
England. Yeah, I just don't think he would just uproot when he can stay in England. Man United, huge club.
Learn the lingo.
I just can't see him go in Madrid. But I see Daniel Levy saying there's 100 million from 1 and 2. We've only accepted 1, and that's Madrid, or you ain't going. So, and I don't think Harry Kane agitates for a move and says, "Don't tell me when pre-season training is because I ain't tightening up."
It wouldn't be a surprise if he's at Tottenham next year.
Yeah.
It would not be a surprise.
No, it wouldn't. No,
Do you know the only reason I say I think it would? Because Daniel Levy's not stupid.
You think he'll let him go?
No, I'm saying that I'd be surprised if he does end up at Tottenham because without signing a new deal. Because if he runs out his last year, obviously he's still going to have loads of options when he's on a free. But Daniel Levy gets no money for him for 1 season, and now he can get 80 or 100. Not going to happen.
Maybe Harry Kane might go, I'm not going, and I'm not signing.
Minerals. What have you got?
Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case.
I look at my options.
What do you do then? Play him put him in a Resis?
Exactly.
No chance.
Exactly.
No chance. Okay, well, I'm the judge.
To us.
I'm the judge, and I can't decide. I'll be honest with you. Realistically, he should be going to Real Madrid, but I'm gonna bang the hammer and say no, Man United, because that's where I want him to go. To finish off, we're just gonna finish off with you, actually.
Most important bit.
Actually, look, you said at the top of the show, unbelievable tournament you had there at the TST tournament out there in North Carolina. Amazing. But it was short-lived, like in terms of what we saw on social media with the racial slur that was used during the game and the subsequent actions of yourself, your teammates. What happened, bro? What happened?
Well, first off, I'm not just wearing this shirt because it's the final. I'm wearing this shirt with pride because of the way the club handled it, which I thought was fantastic. The support from back here in England and the support from the staff that were out in North Carolina with us was second to none.
What about the organisers as well?
Organisers of TST were fantastic.
How good's that?
And it's such a breath of fresh air because I'm so used to it going the other way. And hearing it go the other way, or my own experience going the other way. So to be uplifted and to be supported the way that, not just me, but every teammate that was there was fantastic. From West Ham, from the TST owners, and the supporters that were there were fantastic. You know, and what I can say is...
so how did it happen? Just in case anyone...
There was a use of the N-word to one of the players.
In the game?
In the game. And off the back of that, like the game stopped and people were like, what's going on? But it stopped and went back into the game quite quickly. But it was off the back of a foul. So people just thought it was a foul, but also going like, what's going on? We finished the 2 quarters. We finished the 2 halves. And then we come and sit down. And the player who was racially abused said, "Oh, by the way, this has happened." And the referee heard it and laughed.
What?
So I was like, what? So I got up straight away. When I heard that, I got up straight away and I went to the referee and I said, "What am I hearing about this?" And you laughed. And he went, "That never happened. I never heard anything." I said, "Okay, well, can you explain to me why you stopped the game then?" Explained to me why he stopped the game, and he got a bit panicked, and then said, he said, I was gonna tell him that he shouldn't say anything racist. So I went, okay, well, mate, that makes sense to me then, because you just said you never heard nothing, but then you're addressing the situation that you've not heard,
and to condone it, basically saying, "Don't be racist."
Yeah.
Well, what's that?
And when I heard that, I had to walk away to gather my thoughts.
Yeah.
Because, as you know, this is a big topic for me and it started to trigger me a bit. So I needed to come away and gather my thoughts. And in that time, I was sitting down, and in that time, the player had been spoken to, and the player had said that he went to say it but didn't. So I'm not gathering all this information, and then the staff, and this is why I mentioned West Ham staff, the West Ham staff, Kenny Brown, and the others that were there said, "Guys, what do you want to do? We need to have a serious conversation. What do you guys want to do?" And it wasn't just me that said it, but what was said is, I think it's time to walk. Let's set a precedent. It's time to walk.
So the game was still going on, or was it?
We had another
half.
Another half.
You
to
guys
play.
are saying we're not.
But we're not playing. I'm not, and I said, listen, guys, I can't speak for yous, but in my opinion, we don't play. We walk off. Look at what's going on around the world. Let's set a precedent. Let's go. And every lad backed each other, which was fantastic. But then I still had more to say because everything that's been going on around it was bubbling. And as I said, I was triggered. So I went to the owners of the tournament, were all on the pitch. And I was saying to him, and I need to say this because there's been a narrative that's been pushed where people were saying that I had said, I'm here to set a precedent. I never said that I'm here to set a precedent. This topic of conversation is bigger than me.
Yeah,
and I've always said that. So it's not me setting a precedent.
Yeah, but what, just because you've got an award-winning
Exactly. It's nothing to do with that. I was saying to the owners of the tournament's unbelievable. You have got an opportunity to set the precedent.
Yeah.
And show the world how to deal with racism in football and how not with what's going on in the world at the moment in football, Vinicius and all that. Let's show the world how to deal with it. Which there was and agreeing with a little bit, but still trying to work out what to do. Then one of the owners come to me and said, we've sent the player off. We're going to send the player off. Can we continue? And I went, no, not a chance. No, I'm not playing this game. I'm walking. My team are walking. Because I had the backing of my team, I was like, I'm walking. But to be honest with you, if my team wouldn't have, I wouldn't have played anyway. My personal opinion. And I was like, no, can we not just... And I get because they was trying to look at ways where they can continue the...
Resolution,
and can continue the tournament at that time because they wasn't sure how it's going to look. And I get that.
Panic, innit?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah. And I was just like... In my head, I'm thinking, okay, let me draw on my experiences from before. We're not 13 years ago where it's a taboo to speak about racism. It's actually okay to speak about it now and do things different. And not just that, I understand when I was playing, I understood how hard it was to walk off the pitch. I understand that the competitor in you fights with you to go, if you walk off the pitch, they've won.
You feel like you've lost, yeah.
You feel like you've lost.
And you got the fans that you probably want to be there for.
But my stance in this, I'm now not a player. I don't play anymore. And I ain't been through what I've been through not to deal with a situation like that in the right way and differently. And this is where TST need to be given their flowers, the organisation. They started to conduct their investigation. It wasn't like how other people do it where it takes weeks, months. Theirs was in a matter of hours, and I get it because it's a tournament, it has to be. But they came to see us in our dressing room area. And the CEO spoke openly, and he was just like, we feel that the player in question, we've kicked him out of the tournament. He will never play in the tournament again, and we feel that that's the right decision to make, and that that's as far as it should go. They didn't believe at that time that the whole team suffering
was the right
thing. Because I was saying, unless they get kicked out, I'm not playing. And then he said, I don't think that's the right thing. I think it should be the player kicked out and the team stay. And when he finished that, I just said, can I speak? And he was like, yeah. And I said, again, guys, to my teammates, I can't speak. I'm not speaking for you. I'm speaking for myself. But you guys make your own decision. And if you want to play, it's not going to change my.
Did you have a fear at that point there that you thought you could be by
yourself? I was done. Like in my head, like what I was doing, I was doing. And if lads want to follow me, great. If they don't, it ain't going to change my relationship with them. That's their prerogative. But for me and what I stand for.
Yeah, you'd made your choice.
I've made my choice. So I just said to the guy who's white, I said to him, no disrespect, but you don't know what it feels like to be racially abused. You'll never know the feeling. I said, but through hearing me speak with the passion that I'm speaking and through my own experiences and others who look like me speaking, you can gain an understanding. You never know the feeling, but you can gain understanding.
Absolutely.
I said, so with that said, like I said to you, like I said to you on the pitch an hour ago, unless they're kicked out, tomorrow I won't be playing. And I said, I'll make it public as to why I'm not playing either. I said, you're trying to tell me that just because you've punished a player, that's good enough. I said, that ain't acceptable to me when it comes to this topic of conversation, because it's bigger than football. It's so much bigger than football. I also said that it's like when you're playing. If I give away a goal and we lose the game, it's my fault, but my whole team suffers. It should be the same with this, minimum.
Well, what you've done is amazing for them. Never mind yourself, and you deserve great credit for it, mate. Because what they've done is they've sent out a message, because they did kick the whole team out, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
They've sent a message. Racism at our tournament is not accepted.
Yeah,
and everyone will suffer part of that squad, and that's the best message. And 100%. They wouldn't have got to that point without you.
And it comes after we spoke about the Vinicius Junior situation when you wasn't here, I think.
no, I wasn't here.
And you know, you talk about the partial closures of stadium. You know, Semi doing something. Do
pathetic.
It. Get rid. Exactly.
Pathetic.
Get rid. And
Gestures.
Exactly.
I have to also say that the clubs that were there, like Como, and others alike, all said, whatever it is that you guys are doing, we will back it.
So the other team said,
The other
we're
teams
not
we
playing.
won't. If your thing is that you're not going to play, we won't play either.
Solidarity.
You know, but I think
did anybody at the club where the racist player was a team member, did any of them apologise?
I've had a lot of messages on social media, like DMs from players from Dallas United, just saying we don't condone it and we'd like to meet up with you guys and stuff like that. But for me personally, at the time, I wasn't ready to speak with them.
No.
Because of my own past experiences. And as I said, I was very, very triggered around it. But again, I just want to thank my teammates that were there. I want to thank West Ham United because of their support was fantastic. And I said I'm wearing the shirt not just because it's the final, but because of the way that they supported me. Yeah, you know, they supported one of their own, which I'm very, very thankful for. And TST has shown world football how to deal with racism. Nonsense means no nonsense.
Right. You with them.
Exactly.
Not them.
Yeah.
And you with them.
Because actually their first thought was to do this, but you pushed and said no.
Yeah, and I think what people can take from my West Ham team that was there, the West Ham like group of ex-players that were playing, it wasn't all just the black players and the players of ethnicity that were saying we don't want to do it. Every player said it.
Yeah.
You know, some of the white players were more vocal than some of the other black players. My message has always been, it's not just black people and people of ethnicities fight, it's everybody's fight. You know, you need to speak about it the way I speak about it. Without you, this ain't gonna become better.
No.
You know, and I think you saw that in our team, which is why like people have been posting messages because now now we've come home, and the message in our group is, it felt like old times. It felt unbelievable, but I feel even more together now.
Good.
You know, and not just that, there was a couple of young lads that came with us who it was invaluable lessons that they learned on that tour, on how to deal with a situation personally. You know, and I think so much positivity came out of such a bad experience. You know, and again, I think not just football, but the world as a whole, I think if everyone speaks about racism in the right manner to eradicate it, then we've got a better chance than just the people that are being abused.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Well done.
We don't like, finishing on somber notes, but listen.
It's a good way to finish. It's a positive
here on the
finish.
Take On, and more importantly here on this channel at 5, and us as people, we're not going to let things like that slide, and we're not too scared to talk about.
It's great to hear the story.
Issues. Yeah, and all the work that you've done, and like you said, it wasn't about you, but I think all the stuff that you have done in the media with what you've been through and transferring it into now to make it count for something, not just your battle. That's what we need, bro. That's what you need. And sorry I had to go through that. And it's just good that you had good people around you actually, so you didn't feel alone.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I'm lucky.
Good. That is the episode finished, guys. Smash a like on this video. Subscribe to 5 if you are new. Let us know. Do you agree with the fact that Harry Kane should be going to Manchester United if he wants to fulfill all of his footballing potential?
And do you agree that West Ham Millwall should be in the top 5 worldwide derbies?
It is. Of course it should be.
Oh, mate. And let us know who had the worst take today on the take on. There's only one, as there is.
As per.
We'll see you again, same time, same place next week. Peace.